If you want to attract any amazing relationship into your life, you have to stop focusing on trying to find the right person and start focusing on becoming the right person. Because that's how attraction actually works. And so in this video today, I want to give you 5 things you can do starting right now so that you can actually become that kind of person that when you meet that amazing person, or maybe if you already know them, things you can start doing now so that you are the kind of person who they realize is the right person so they can start chasing you. So in today's video, I want to give you 5 different ways that you can start focusing on yourself becoming a more attractive person, the right person for the person that you want to be with. That way you are just a magnet of sexiness who they cannot resist. And what I'm going to be teaching you today is something I call the chase method, which I created myself and I think it's pretty cool. And basically it's called the chase method because the 5 things I'm going to teach you spell out the word chase. Starting with the letter C, which stands for commonalities. The greatest explanation I ever heard for getting someone to like you is this: it's not about making someone realize that they like you, it's about making them realize that they are like you. Because the more you have in common with someone, even if it's completely irrelevant things, the more they're going to like you instantly. It's like a brain life hack. For example, have you ever met someone who had the exact same birthday as you? It's like instant best friend status, which really, when you start to think about it, makes absolutely no sense. Because what if you have the same birthday as like Hitler? What, are you just gonna become like BFFs with Adolf? Probably not. But if you don't know anything about someone, and then you find out this one thing that you guys have the same birthday, and that's the only thing that you have to bond with them on, you're going to like that person more just off of sheer instinct. And the more commonalities you can build with someone, even if they're completely irrelevant things like a birthday or you're both from the same hometown, the more they're going to feel connected with you. Because as humans, we like people and relate to people who we feel understand us on any level. And honestly, that is like the best shortcut for getting anyone to like you. So that is the C. The next letter in the chase method is H for health and hygiene, which I know sounds like a pretty basic one, but you'd be surprised. It is amazing how many people come to me and they're like, Tom, I need help getting this guy to like me. And I'm like, when's the last time you showered? Right, so that's why I throw hygiene in there as well. But mostly it's health. And when I say health, I'm not just talking about your physical health, I'm talking about your mental health as well. Like, you can't have an amazing love life unless you love life. And if you don't believe me on that and you expect getting into a relationship to be the thing that makes you happy, you are going to end up worse off than you were before the relationship, because then you're gonna get invested in someone and then it's gonna come crashing down, because that is never, every relationship depends on the foundation in which it is created, and that foundation isn't between the two of you, it is built off of you and them when you're alone first, and then when you come together, that is the quality of the relationship. So if you don't have self-love and you feel like a happy person, it is dooming the relationship before it even begins. So focus on your mental health, focus on becoming a happier person in general, because commonalities, like attracts like, you are going to attract more happy people naturally. And there are a lot of ways to do that that are outside of the scope of this video. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. But one really easy way to focus on improving your mental health is by focusing on your physical health. Working out, practicing yoga, running, doing jujitsu, all of these things, they force you to become happier because they release happy chemicals in your brain automatically, like endorphins and dopamine. So you can't not be happier when you're doing these things for long periods of time. And the other major benefit, even though looks truly don't matter nearly as much as people think they do, looking healthy does matter. And when I say looking healthy, going to the gym looks healthy. Eating good food looks healthy. And when you're doing those kind of things around someone and you inspire them to be a healthier person, or you already have that thing in common, either way, they're going to be someone who wants to spend more time with you. Like, that's a turn on, especially if you're motivating him to get in better shape. Like, is he going to want to spend time with you, or is he going to want to spend time with someone who's lazy? Like, it just gives you an edge over your competition immediately. And also, the only way this wouldn't count is if you don't want to date someone who's also healthy and trying to improve themselves and getting in better physical shape. Like, if you don't want that in a partner, then don't do this one. But obviously that is something that you do want. You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't a person who wanted to improve yourself and be with someone who's gonna push you as well. So that is why this is so crucial for someone who you're gonna be dating and spending the rest of your life with. So we got the C and the H. The third letter in the chase method is A for abundance. And when I talk about abundance, people are simply more attracted to someone who has options but chooses us, as opposed to someone who does not have options. For example, let's say there's a guy who likes you, but nobody likes him. Nobody hangs out with him. He's a loner. Be kind of weird, right? Even if you don't know anything else about that guy, just that information alone, you're probably gonna steer clear from him just out of your own safety. Because there's probably a reason why no one wants to hang out with him, as opposed to another person who has a bunch of friends, a bunch of options, and they just seem like a happy, interesting person, and then they choose to hang out with you. He has more in common with you, he prefers spending time with you. When that guy hits you up, you feel like you just won a competition, like you just won a prize at the carnival. A prize that a lot of other people were competing for that you earned, and that makes you value that prize more. And so when you're the person who has that kind of abundance of friends and options and you choose someone, they are going to value you as well. And so when you flip the script and you're the one who has all of that abundance, all those friends, all those options, all those people who like you, and then you choose that person who you like, they feel like they won you and you're the prize as well. Which is what makes him value everything about you and what makes him never want to lose you, because he's afraid he'll never be able to find someone as awesome as you. Which is a pretty good position to be in a relationship. And there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I would say one of the easiest ways you can get started is like every other week, just have a weekly or a bi-weekly lunch where you just invite all of your friends and you have them invite all of their friends as well. So we got 3 letters down, 2 to go. Next is the S, which stands for status. Which I don't know if you know this, but status has been shown in study after study as being one of the most attractive traits a person can have. And your status is the way you carry yourself, the way other people look at you, the way you look at yourself, the standards that you have. Simply put, you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to accept in my life and what is a strict, hard no? For example, if you make plans with a guy to go out sometime and he cancels on you at the last minute, is that something that you're okay with and you'll let slide, or is that unacceptable and you won't tolerate that from anyone because you respect yourself and you have that boundary, that standard that is set before you even met that guy, that you won't bend for anyone because you love yourself more than you love anyone else? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Do you allow it or is it unacceptable? And by the way, when you have abundance, it is much easier to have those boundaries. If you don't have an abundance of options, it is much harder to have that strict boundary where someone crosses that line, someone disrespects you like that, for you to say no. But by having those boundaries and being someone who other people desire, it also makes you someone who not only they desire, but someone, more importantly, who they respect. Because just because someone likes you and someone wants you does not necessarily mean they're going to respect you unless you command that respect. And that's why this one's so important, because unfortunately a lot of students who do come to me and like pay for advice, this is something they struggle with, and we have to actually come up and map out the standards and the boundaries they're going to have in their life. But as soon as they do, they become a happier person, a more attractive person, and everyone around them starts to respect them more. So that is status, but the last letter in the chase method that I want to talk about is E, for effort. And here's why E might be the most important one on the entire list, because I want you to imagine, just put yourself in a situation, let's say there are 2 guys, they're twin brothers, they are identical physically, and they have the exact same personalities as well. But you've been texting, FaceTiming, thinking about hanging out with twin number 1 for months now. And you haven't hung out with him yet, but then after a couple of months of talking to him, chasing him, trying to get him to hang out with you, he hits you up and he goes, hey, let's hang out sometime. But on that exact same day, after all of that effort you've put into him, his twin brother also hits you up and says, hey, let's hang out sometime. Now, even though they're identical, everything about them is exactly the same, which one are you going to choose? Are you going to go with twin number 1, who you've been talking to and chasing after and putting effort into for months, or the one you haven't talked to at all yet? Obviously, you're going to go with the one you've put effort into. And that is why it is so important, because we only value people who we invest our effort into. And it's amazing because you're going to choose the twin who's been playing hard to get, who's been really difficult, been showing you mixed signals, as opposed to the twin who isn't really playing any games, he's showing you interest right off the bat, he's like, hey, let's hang out sometime, and you're still like, no, I put more effort into this one. So even though it's not logical, emotionally, I want this person more. And that is how people end up in these relationships where they're not even happy, but they put so much effort into it that they don't want to leave. There's a lot more I could go into on that topic as well. I won't bore you with all the details on that because this is a different topic, but it is an extremely powerful thing when you know how to use it on anyone who you like and anyone that you meet. And it's also why at the beginning of this video I was talking about how it's not about focusing on finding the right person, it's about focusing on yourself becoming the right person. Because when you're doing all the effort trying to find him, you're putting the effort into him, he's going to be the one with the advantage. If you're putting the effort into yourself, you're the one with the advantage. So start focusing on yourself, because where your energy flows, his effort goes. And the more effort he's putting into you, the more he's going to feel the falling effect, and eventually he will fall in love with you. But guys, that is really all I've got to say on it, so thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon. Peace.